Hello everyone, I hope you're great. Welcome to the next lessons and activities. Objectives. Students will use question words to ask and answer about past events. Read and talk about technology. Use the future tense to make predictions. Use indefinite pronouns, anyone, everyone, no one, nobody, and someone. If you remember, we used the past continuous last week to talk about past events, and now we're gonna review the use of this tense. If it's an affirmative sentence, we start with the subject, then was and were, an ing verb, and the complement. Like the examples. Hannah was doing homework. We were playing basketball. If it's a negative sentence, we start with the subject, then wasn't and weren't, after that an ing verb, and the complement. Like the examples. I wasn't running in the park. They weren't listening to music. Remember, if the subjects are I, he, she, or it, we use was, and the negative wasn't. If the subjects are we, you, or they, we use were or the negative weren't. If it's a yes or no question, we start with the auxiliary was or were, then the subject, an ing verb, and the complement. Like these examples. Were they watching a movie yesterday? Yes, they were. No, they weren't. If it's a WH question, we start with the WH word, then was or were, the subject, ing verb, and the complement. Like the example. What was Emily doing last weekend? She was dancing in a party. When we want to make specific questions, we have to use WH words. But first, we have to know the meaning of them. What is used to ask about things. For example, what is your favorite color? Why is to give a reason. Why are you happy? Who is to ask about people. Who's your best friend? Which is to ask about choices. Which flavor of ice cream would you like? Chocolate or strawberry? Where is used to ask about places. Like this example. Where do you live? And when is used to ask about the time. When is your birthday? You're going to read the dialogue that is on page 82 in your student's book, exercise 17, and answer the question. Who was Mike meeting? When you finish that conversation, you have to complete the exercise 18. In this exercise, you have to complete the questions with the words that are missing. Then, in exercise 19, you have to match the answers with the questions in exercise 18. Now, we're going to practice with more exercises in your workbook, pages 70 and 71. In exercise 18, you have to choose the correct WH word for each question. For example, in the first one says, what or which were you doing at school last night? In this case, the correct answer, or the correct word, sorry, is what. In exercise 19, you have to match the questions with the answers. In exercise 20, you have to complete the question using was or were. In exercise 22, you have to put the questions in the correct order. Like the first example, it says, what was he doing when he broke his leg? And you have to do the same with the rest of the questions. In exercise 22, you have to answer the questions in exercise 21 using the information that is there. For example, the answer for question number 1 is this one. He was climbing a mountain. In exercise 23, you have to answer the questions for you. When you finish the previous activities, we're going to continue with the next unit, the future, pages 90 to 103. In this part, you're going to read and talk about technology. You have to read these inventions. Are they real or not real? 1. Keyboard jeans. Keyboard jeans are the latest fashion trend. These jeans come with built-in speakers, a wireless mouse, and a keyboard built into the legs of the pants. This gives new meaning of the term laptop computer. 2. Spray-on battery. The battery in a mobile device can take up almost half of the space in your cell phone, smartphone, or tablet. But now, there's a spray-on battery. This battery will be painted onto your mobile device, taking up no room at all. 3. Computer eyeglasses. With these computer glasses, you'll be able to do everything you do on a normal computer. There's one big difference. You won't have to carry anything. The lenses are a see-through computer monitor. 4. Pet training app. Tired of trying to stop your dog from barking in the house? Well, now there's an app for that. This new app for smartphones will stop your dog from barking at the touch of a button. It uses special sounds that only dogs understand. You just have to make sure your dog is listening. Now we're going to check which inventions are real. Number 1 is real. 2, it's real. 3 is real. And 4 is not real. In your student's book, pages 92 and 93, you're going to read a science fiction story. When you finish, you have to complete the exercise 6. You have to identify if the sentences are true or false. We're going to continue working with more activities from your workbook, pages 76 and 77. In exercise 1, you have to choose the inventions that you think will be common in stores by 2020. In exercise 2, you have to choose the inventions that you would like to buy. In 3, you have to choose the things that you can do with these electronic devices. And in exercise 4, you have to scramble the words. You have to read the science fiction story that is on your workbook, page 78, and complete the questions below and the exercise 6. In this part, we're going to make predictions about the future. First, you have to read the dialogue and answer the question that is there. How will Ellie get to school today? In exercise 9, you have to listen and match the sentences with the pictures. 1. We'll use video messaging to talk to our friends. 2. We'll use our smartphones to pay for things. 3. We'll use a tablet to attend school virtually. 4. We'll use a computer navigation system to tell our cars where we want to go. We're going to learn how to make sentences about the future using will. If it's an affirmative sentence, we start with the subject, then we use the auxiliary will. After that, we use an infinitive verb or the base form of the verb and the complement. Like the examples. I will be an architect. People will travel to the moon. For negative sentences, we start with the subject, then will not or the contraction won't, the infinitive verb without to, and the complement. For example, Sam won't fail the test. Children won't go to school in the future. If it's a question, we start with the auxiliary will, then the subject, the infinitive verb without to, and the complement. Like these examples. Will people live on other planets? Yes, they will, or no, they won't. We're going to practice the use of will and won't. In your student's book, page 95. In exercise 10, you have to make predictions about the future using will and won't. Use the information that is there, like this example. 1. We won't write letters. We will send emails. Now we're going to use indefinite pronouns. An indefinite pronoun doesn't refer to a particular person, but refers to any person in a general way. Here we have the pronouns, the meaning, and the examples. The pronouns that we're going to use are these ones. Anyone. The example with this pronoun is this. Anyone can be a hero. No one and nobody. No one will know the truth. Everyone and everybody. Everybody is happy. Someone. Someone opened the door. Let's practice the indefinite pronouns with this exercise. In your student's book, page 95. In exercise 11, you have to answer the questions using no one, someone, or everyone, with will or might. For example, who will use tablets instead of desktop computers? Everyone will use tablets. These are the last activities that we're going to do today. Workbook pages 79, 80, and 81. On page 79, in exercise 7, You have to read the dialogue and answer the questions below. In exercise A, you have to read expressions and match them with another that has the same meaning. In exercise 9, you have to complete the dialogue with the words from exercise 8. On page 80, exercise 10, you have to complete the sentences using will or won't. In exercise 11, you have to complete the questions and answers. You have to use will and won't. In exercise 12, that is on page 81, you have to read the class survey and complete the sentences below. And in exercise 13, you have to circle the sentences that you agree with and write one sentence that you don't agree and you have to explain why.